Hi friends, so it's Djokovic versus Alcaraz once again, and what an amazing match this is going to be. Both players are playing well, are in form, and have beaten their respective opponents quite comfortably in the end. So let's see what happens. In this video, we are going to look into the head to head record, the past performances, the current form, and also try to predict who would win this epic encounter. So let's get started. Now, talking about the head-to-head in the past meetings. So Djokovic leads 4 matches to 3, as you can see. Last year, the most recent memory that comes into our mind is the Olympics. Obviously, a big win for Djokovic on the clay in straight sets, even though those were very tight sets, very close match. But I think Djokovic was better in the end, and he was looking so focused in that match, even though Alcaraz was playing well. He was getting to a lot of shots from Djokovic and winning some amazing points. Do watch the highlights if you get a chance. It was an amazing match by Djokovic, and it was clay. So I think the important factor to consider here is the surface. On Wimbledon, Alcaraz has played 2 times, okay, and he has won both of those matches. On clay, it has again been in favor of Djokovic, but I think 3 matches to 2. So again, pretty close. But on hard courts, they have just played twice. One in an indoor hard court, which is the ATP Finals, and once in Cincinnati. And in both of those occasions, Djokovic has won. So technically, based on the records, we can see that Djokovic is better on hard courts as compared to Alcaraz. Now, other important factor is the surface here at the Australian Open. So it's a slow court. The ball doesn't bounce too much, and the conditions are also pretty heavy. So I would say all of this favors Djokovic. That is why it's one of the best surfaces for him, and he has had the most success here at the Australian Open. He has won 10 times, right? So that's the reason. The conditions favor him a lot here. Having said that, still it's going to be really difficult for Djokovic to win because obviously he's going to play against Alcaraz or Sinner. And but I mean, I would not say that Djokovic is going to win the Australian Open because for that to happen, he has to beat Alcaraz and technically, Zverev or probably Tommy Paul, and then he has to beat Sinner as well. So that is not going to be an easy task for anyone. It's just like playing against Federer and Nadal and having to win against them back to back. So that's not possible at this moment. That's what I think. But he can still beat Alcaraz. So let's look at some of the key factors that are going to decide the victor. So for Djokovic, the serve is key. He has been serving really well, even in today's match against Lehechka. He was playing really well. He served with precision, even though Lehechka had better serving day today. Obviously, he has more power, more speed on his serve, but Djokovic has more accuracy. And he took some chances on his second serve as well, Djokovic, which paid off. So he has been winning good points, and as the commentators mentioned, Djokovic has a good record in this tournament when it comes down to the first serves that are unreturned by the opponents. So Djokovic is serving well. Alcaraz is a good returner. Okay, so let's not forget that. So it would be tough. It would be interesting to see how much of effectiveness can Djokovic's serve bring into the table. But still, I feel that Djokovic, for him to serve well is the key so that he stays on par with Alcaraz, whether it's 3 all, 4 all, 5 all, and then anything can happen. The second is backhand down the line. That is a key shot for Djokovic. And the ease with which he is able to change directions on the shot, right, within a rally, that is a key strength for Djokovic. So he has to use that as much as possible. And his backhand down the line is working well in this tournament. So I think that's going to continue. And he would try to use that as much as possible just to open up the court, be aggressive in the rally, and then it would give him a chance to go to the net and probably close the point. The third factor is the focus. Now, in this match, in today's match, against Lehechka. I thought probably Djokovic was not as focused as I saw him in the last match. In the last match, in after 1.5 sets, when he really, I don't know, when someone from the crowd maybe annoyed him, or something happened, but he caught too much inspiration from that, and he was really focused. His backhands, he was grunting when he was making those shots, and after that it was really impossible for anyone to beat him. He was trying to make a statement out there. So that sort of focus is something that we would be looking from Djokovic if he has to beat Alcaraz. That motivation, inspiration, the same that we saw in Olympics, where he was giving it all, and he was grunting. So it's very clear when we see Djokovic in that mood, that he's playing his best and he's trying to win. On some days, however, he is not in that focused mood, so he may not have too much grunting. He would be playing reserved tennis, and probably not too much talking with his coach and his team as well. So that is something which Djokovic should avoid at all costs. He has to be in the match. He has to be present, whether or not he's playing well or not. He still has to show that he wants to win this match. So that focus is the key for me. And the next factor is the net game. Even with Djokovic's standards and his abilities, if he just continues to play from the baseline, it would be difficult for him to win. He has to at some point come to the net and finish the point. And the next factor is fitness. Now, even though Djokovic is playing well, he didn't have to play five setters, but still, he had an injury scare in his last match, and even in this match, he was playing well, but still, I feel he's a little slower as compared to the previous years, and that is understandable. But his fitness at this age will always be a question. Coming into the match, how well is he feeling? He won't say all of that in the interviews and not make it visible to the spectators, but we don't know what's happening, right? So that is obviously a question. Now, talking about Alcaraz, forehand, I think, is the key factor for him. It's the deadliest weapon that he has. He has got more variety in it right now. He's creating more angles, hitting with a lot of spin. The power that he always had is still there. So I feel forehand is a key shot for Alcaraz. But having said that, he also makes a lot of unforced errors in that way. So he has to control that. And Djokovic probably should attack Alcaraz's forehand, because if he could, get some unforced errors out of it, it may decrease some of the confidence that Alcaraz has in that shot, and it may force Alcaraz to play a bit more reserved tennis, which again goes in favor of Djokovic. So I feel for both of them, for Djokovic to attack Alcaraz's forehand and also for Alcaraz, I think this shot is going to be the key for him. The other factor is passing shots. Now, Djokovic is going to try to come to the net as far as possible, as often as possible, and try to close the points. But Alcaraz, as we know, both from backhand and forehand wings, he has good passing shots, and those are going to be tested in this match. If he is not feeling the ball well, maybe it would open up a door for Djokovic. Drop shots, as we all know, Alcaraz loves to play drop shots, and with Djokovic's fitness and his positioning behind the baseline, I think drop shots will always be in the game. So Alcaraz has to use them as much as possible. He is very good at executing those, and we saw in today's match as well. I think Lehechka tried those shots a few times. He was successful 50% of the time, and but Alcaraz, with him, I feel he would be more successful because of the accuracy and the moment that he chooses. And for Djokovic, based on his fitness, the amount of running that he has to do, I think drop shots will be really effective strategy against him. The last factor is patience. So, as we saw in today's match, Alcaraz in the first set lost his way a little bit. He was hitting too many unforced errors, and that is because of the patience. Because he has so many shots, so many weapons, it's difficult for him to decide which one to use. And sometimes he gets into that moment, he wants to hit a very strong shot, even though it's not a percentage shot, and that results in an error, and it could be at deuce. So because he plays fearless tennis, he is not reserved, right? So even if it's a break point or an advantage, he can still go for his shot. And sometimes that's a bad thing because it gives an opportunity to win a free point for the opponent. So I think he has to work on his patience a little bit, just conserve his energy and reserve his shot making at the biggest moment so that he makes the right decision. I think that is going to be important as well. Now, few examples that I wanted to show in this video is one of the key things that Djokovic needs to avoid is when he doesn't give up his ground, right? So when Alcaraz hits a deep shot, sometimes Djokovic doesn't go back. He just tries to take the ball on the half volley. But what happens is, even if he does it well, the ball doesn't have pace. It sits up in the middle of the court just like this, as you can see in the screenshot, and then it opens up the court for Alcaraz. Now, with other players, maybe Djokovic would be able to get away with this, but not against Alcaraz because Alcaraz has so much power that he can dictate play from this point. He can either go inside out, he can also go down the line, and he can hit it with so much power that even with the defensive abilities that Djokovic possesses, it's still not easy for him to win the point. So I think he needs to avoid that, maybe go back a little bit or slice the ball so that he, stays in the rally and the ball doesn't just sit up for Alcaraz to hit. Another example is the loopy balls. So Alcaraz has this ability. He used it against Sinner at the French Open last year. So he has that ability to just throw the ball up with a lot of spin. It bounces and again it goes above shoulder height. So if that happens, Nadal also exploited that, and I think against Federer, and Alcaraz can also do that against Djokovic. So in this example, Alcaraz has hit a really bouncy, loopy ball for Djokovic, and as you can see, it's just above his shoulder. Now, if Djokovic doesn't slice it, if he doesn't go down the line, if he just tries to hit it cross court, it becomes short. It's not that easy to hit deep with that. So it sits in a perfect position for Alcaraz to hit a down the line winner. And Alcaraz has got a good backhand down the line, so he can hit that shot all day long. So this is something that Djokovic should avoid, and maybe Alcaraz tries to use that because it's a slower court. Let's see. Now, who will win? That's the big question. So on paper, I think Alcaraz has got so many advantages. Both are equal. Experience wise, Djokovic obviously has so much experience, but that's not going to be a big factor in this match because Alcaraz, even though he is pretty young at the moment, still he has been able to win four Grand Slams. He has beaten these players, Djokovic, Nadal, at the biggest stages of the Grand Slams, right? So they know how to win. And still they don't have the fear to lose because they are still young. So it's not like Alcaraz is chasing something. So I feel it's the best position to be in if you're Alcaraz. You can play fearless tennis, you can try different options, and because he has so many weapons, it will be really difficult for Djokovic to beat him. So the key factors again, Djokovic is getting better with every match, starting from the first round at the Australian Open, but still I feel that he is a bit slower in terms of movement. Alcaraz is in good form and he is also fresher as compared to Joko because Joko had to struggle a bit in his three rounds, and Alcaraz is feeling fresh. He even told that in his post-match interview today. Drop shots from Alcaraz will test Joko's fitness. That's just very important, and I feel that is going to be a key shot for Alcaraz. Long rallies would again favor Alcaraz because he has that ability to hit a powerful shot when he needs to, right? So it's Djokovic who has to still play strong, get into the rally, but Djokovic is the one who has to make the first move, otherwise, the point will be over, right? Slow court conditions would help Djokovic. That is what has always been the case at the Australian Open. So let's see how much of benefit can Djokovic get out of it. So prediction, I think Alcaraz is going to win this match in four sets. That is my prediction based on the past performances and how Alcaraz is playing right now. Plus, there is a lot of pressure on Djokovic because he knows he has very few chances remaining if he has to win a Grand Slam. So I feel it would be a tough match, tough four sets, close four sets, but still I feel Alcaraz would be winning in the end. Tell me what do you think, and thanks for watching.